go. It is a Monday. We're live in Los Angeles. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. 1 hour from now, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. So I sat down yesterday and watched a ton of the Olympics. Started in the morning, watching Team USA struggle early. That's sort of their MO. And then come back to beat Serbia and Jokic. But I think it's, J-Mac, it's pretty obvious there's one player for Team USA, and it jumps off the television set. One player, we've been told for years, is Shaq. And that one player does not fit with this team.
He's not a great FIBA player. That's very clear so far.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, the NBA media voted Joel Embiid over Jokic as MVP. It was really an anti-Jokic vote because Jokic is a more valuable player. He's a better player, and it's not particularly close if you watch yesterday. But the league's stewards, the media, did not want Jokic to win a third straight MVP, even though he's hands down the most valuable player, and you saw it yesterday. It's why the NBA media regularly kind of chooses cool stories over the truth. And I think increasingly people want the truth from their media. But I think it's official, watching Embiid yesterday, where Steve Kerr pulled him off the floor 2.5 minutes into the game against Serbia. He is the most overhyped, coddled, and over-discussed, player in the NBA. I mean, Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, it's not close. They're not the same player. They're not remotely close to the same level of player. Beyond padding his stats, Philadelphia keeps running coaches through him and teammates through him. And in the weaker Eastern Conference, he is yet to win a second-round playoff series. I'm not asking for much, just maybe one Eastern Conference Finals. Milwaukee was all beat up this year. I mean, the Knicks fell apart physically. So did Miami. Can you win a second playoff series in the significantly weaker conference? The other thing is he's never played 70 games. Remember, his career started, he was hurt for the first 2 years, never played 70 games. We bang on AD, but AD the last couple of years is there every night. So you can't depend on him physically. And then you watch this Olympics, and it is the best players in the world, and he is an atrocious fit. He doesn't fit at all. And remember, the FIBA rules don't call as many fouls, and he lives at the free throw line. So you take that element out of his game at the Olympics, he's not only not effective, he hurts the team. And FIBA rules are good for bigs. Jokic is dominant, AD's great, Bam's great. Embiid can't play here. And again, when you watch Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, they've given him James Harden. They've given him Jimmy Butler. They've given him Ben Simmons. Remember, Ben Simmons made an all-star game, and he can't win a second-round playoff series in the East. Jokic has never had a single teammate that's been an all-star. He's already got a trophy. And yesterday, the plus-minus for Jokic almost single-handedly played even with Team USA when he was on the floor. 81-81. When Jokic was off the floor, Serbia was minus 26, and he was only off the floor for a few minutes. Embiid, meanwhile, was the only American player with a minus in the plus-minus category. He's getting heckled now by French fans because he chose to play for the United States. My only question now, can you make trades during the Olympics? Can we get Wemby? I'll give you Embiid and future draft picks. Just give us Wemby. But we can officially now stop comparing Embiid and Jokic. Jokic is healthy. Jokic can be complimentary in the star. Jokic makes every teammate better. I was thinking about this morning. Is the only three players in my life that I've ever watched basketball that make virtually every teammate they play with better. Magic, LeBron, and Jokic. Michael Jordan was great. He took away shots from a lot of good players. Barkley was great. Steph's great. They don't always elevate every single teammate. Magic, LeBron, and Jokic. But this is more because we knew Jokic was great. And we knew, J-Mac called it, that Serbia would be a tough out. They were for about 70% of the game until the very end. But in the end, this is about Embiid. Let's not put him in that class anymore. He can't stay healthy. He doesn't win enough. He clogs up the offense. And it was all on display yesterday. So let's now address the elephant in the room for Team USA. So everybody likes Jason Tatum. We talked about the Celtics championship. It's the first collaborative championship I ever remember where the fifth guy meant as much as the number 2 guy. So Steve Kerr couldn't find a spot, and Steve's a nice guy. He'd like to play everybody. He could not find a single minute for Jason Tatum, and he wants to play him. But it was so bad that Steve wanted to address it and apologize after a blowout win and the inability to get Jason Tatum off the bench at all.
Jason's going to play. Every game is going to be different based on matchups. He's a total pro. He's, first team All-NBA 3 years in a row. I felt like an idiot not playing him. But in a 40-minute game, you can't play more than 10. You really can't. And, so I think he's an amazing guy, great player, and handled it beautifully. And, he'll be back out there next game.
So he's always been a player, and we said this for years. When Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown were on the team, I think Brad Stevens, the GM, traded Marcus Smart away because he, late in games, was more aggressive and demanded the ball more than Jason Tatum. Now, Jaylen Brown always tried to make sure, Tatum got his touches. Marcus Smart didn't care. He's a defensive guy. He just took the ball. So Brad Stevens, the GM of the Celtics, had a problem. Jaylen Brown is taking the ball away from him, and the much less talented Marcus Smart is taking the ball away from him. So I'll get him Drew Holiday, who will be more complimentary to Tatum. I'll get back to that in a second. But what he lacks is that rip-your-heart-out DNA, which most of our great players have had. Steph and LeBron and Michael and Shaq and, Bird and Magic. And he doesn't have it. He's highly skilled. He's a great guy, but he's almost submissive at times. And now when you put it, and I've been arguing this for years and got a lot of pushback. He's the third best player, the fourth best player. No, he's not. I'd argue he's way at the back of the top 10 players. And when you put him around all these alphas and all these highly skilled players, he disappears. He shrinks. And I feel bad for him. He's a nice kid, but, there's always been those kids that when you put them around other aggressive kids, they just don't fit, and he doesn't. It's not that he lacks skill. But the other thing is, there's no part of his game when you surround him with great players that stands out. Shooting. Well, no, that's Kevin Durant, that's Steph Curry, and Derek White. Defense. No, that's Anthony Davis, that's Drew Holiday and Bam. Leadership. No, that's LeBron and Steph. Athletically. No, that's Ant. There is nothing on this team he's best at. Ant's the most athletic. LeBron, the great leader. Steph and KD, Booker, the great shooter. Even Derek White shoots. He's not a great defender compared to these. So what is he great? He's B+ at everything, jack of all trades at everything, and he's a top 10-ish player. He's good. He wins. He's collaborative. He's swell. But, man, you are really seeing, and let's circle back to Brad Stevens, the Celtics GM. Why did he get rid of Marcus Smart? Go back to that final year and those playoff games, and we often said it on the air. Marcus Smart, forget Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart is taking shots from Jason Tatum. And Brad Stevens said, I got to get him out of town. If we're going to have a guy taking shots from him, it's going to be either Jaylen Brown or Drew Holiday is a better offensive player. And then Stevens also got Porzingis. So Brad Stevens, who just won Executive of the Year, has told you everything you need to know about Tatum. That in big spots, against alphas, and surrounded by alphas, he's not going to trust them all the time. Sometimes yes, all the time no. In fact, he can't even trust him to take the shot late. Forget make it, just take it. So I think what you're seeing is what Brad Stevens, his first NBA coach, and Brad Stevens, his current Celtic GM, it's what Brad Stevens is doing. general managers